Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Gabriella. I make videos about fragrance, astrology, self-care. Sorry, there's a little piglet behind me, aka my dog. What else? I do vlogs, style, whatever else I feel like talking about. So if that sounds like your jam, please stick around and subscribe. Today we've got another video in my Venus sign series, and today you voted in my Instagram polls, which is, by the way, the only way I take suggestions. So if you leave comments about what you want to see next, it's kind of like yelling at a brick wall, okay? You gotta go to my Instagram. I post polls once a week or every 2 weeks, and you can vote on what sign you want to see next, okay? So do that. But you voted and Aquarius won. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, Venus and Aquarius. I have my notebook here, as I always do, with my sort of stream of consciousness notes that I made. Let's jump on in. All right, so the first thing I wrote down in my notebook is, be my friend first. I wanna say I have an Aquarius moon, big part of my personality, so I feel this energy hard. Okay, be my friend first. Aquarians are cerebral. They're an air sign, so they're not so much in their body. I wouldn't call them a sensual sign, and this is not a particularly sensual placement. So when it comes to seduction, because Venus, you know, one of the things that Venus rules over is love and pleasure, it's cerebral, it's mental. For an Aquarius Venus, it's not touching and rolling out the red roses and the Frank Sinatra and all of that. It's going to be cerebral. And in that sense, someone with a moon in Aquarius, I don't think I've ever been in a relationship with someone that I wasn't friends with first for a long time. And it's just how I feel comfortable. And that's gonna be the Venus and Aquarius thing. That's kind of their MO. Because they want to know that you can seduce their mind. They want to know that you can make them laugh. They want to know that you're interesting. A Venus and Aquarius person will not date someone that they don't think is smart and that they don't think is interesting. It doesn't mean you have to be a rocket scientist smart. It's just like, keep up with them. You know what I mean? Smart in whatever way that they're smart. And if they find you boring, good luck. Because a Venus and Aquarius needs to be excited and intrigued by their partners, because Venus and Aquarius is the rebel. They are individualists. They are all about being unique and other people being unique as well. So they are seduced by uniqueness in others. You know, an Aquarius Venus is someone who would understand if they're like, yeah, I went out with this model and they were truly the most beautiful person I had ever seen, their outer being, but oh my God, I couldn't carry on a conversation. I think I pity laughed 15 times. All they wanted to talk about was what diet they're on. They had no interests besides modeling. They said they don't like to read. Oh my gosh, it was a disaster. It was the worst date of my life. And other people might be like, you went out with the hottest person you've ever seen, make it work, honey. And Venus and Aquarius is like, no babe. Same thing with like rich people. Venus and Aquarius is like, listen, it's fun that you're rich and your money can buy us really cool, unique experiences, but you are boring. And I can't do anything with that. I can't teach you how to not be boring. It's a lot of like, they can't put their finger on it, but it's just, they need that connection, and it's not about sexual connection. They could have a great intimate connection, intimate time with someone, and still that is not enough. It's just, there's got to be a click there. There's got to be a strong friendship there. That's what it is. Would I choose you as my friend if you were not my lover? That's the key to getting them to commit to you eventually. And a lot of people think that because Aquarius and Venus in Aquarius, it's the rebel lover. And they are really great at non-traditional relationships, at exploring taboos, kinks, things like that. People think that they're like, they can't be locked down and they don't like to be in relationships, and that's not true at all. They just like to make the relationship what works for them. They're like a little tailor. So it's like, yeah, I wanna commit to you, but maybe we can explore this, or maybe we are able to see other people. I don't think it's true at all that Aquarian placement people don't want one-on-one partnership. I don't think that's true at all, especially if they find someone who is their mental match. You know, they want that partner to travel through life with, but physically, all the less important things to them, they might want to play around. And I get that. And at least most of them are honest about it. They can communicate, hey, this is how I can be fulfilled. Traditional relationships are not really the way I want to go. Maybe I don't want to get married. You know, maybe I want to be polyamorous. They really prove that your relationships can be whatever you want them to be, whatever works for you. Because if a Venus in Aquarius is put in a traditional relationship that they have no desire pursuing, they're gonna just feel awful, and they might do things that seem awful, or, you know, just out of character. So it's important for a Venus in Aquarius to be heard and to have partners that accept them for the person that they are and the lifestyle that they want to live, because they will not be contained to that picket fence lifestyle. And as an Aquarius moon, I wrote a song when I was 16 or 17 because I was dating this guy. He was really cool, and at the time, he's so preppy, but he was really preppy, and he just would talk to me. I mean, it was a little too we were in high school, but he was like, I can just see you, like, us getting married and us moving to Michigan. That's where he's from, us moving to Michigan and having a beautiful house, and I'll get us a little dog, and we'll have kids and a picket fence. And I was like, no, oh my God. And I wrote this song called Picket Fence Love. It was like, the chorus was, no, I won't be fenced in. I won't be fenced in by your picket fence, love, by your picket fence, love. I don't know, it was a cool song. If you guys don't know, I'm a musician. Like, I went to school for music. So if you want to listen to my music, I always link it below. Please do. Please do. But yeah, that's my Aquarius moon, being like, no, that's not hot to me. None of that. I don't want cookie cutter. I want an individual life. If I choose to live in a home with a picket fence, it's because that's what I chose. It's not because it's like this weird societal thing where you feel like you gotta do it. No, that's a big turn off. So when it comes to their love languages, I would think immediately that physical touch and gift giving are not, you know, all the love languages are important, but it's not a priority. Like I said, they're much more cerebral over physical. They're not like a Venus in Taurus who's in the physical world. Gifts mean a lot to them. Cooking for them, touching them, huge thing. Cuddling, huge thing. Venus in Aquarius, not so much. Depending on their other placements, they might enjoy it, but as far as how they give and receive love, it's probably more going to be through words of affirmation, or even just, I guess I would say, quality time. And within that, conversation. So words of affirmation is a little different. Quality time and having just good, rich, soul-to-soul connection conversation, that's gonna be number one, because that's how you build a friendship, in my opinion. You don't build a friendship by giving someone a back rub or getting them in the bedroom or like just cooking them a meal. It has to start with that conversation, that connection through who you are as a person. So yeah, I suppose I would say quality time. Quality time would be their top love language, because that's how you develop a strong friendship and a strong foundation for a relationship. It's not even that they have trust issues and that's why they need to be your friend first, anything like that. It's they want to know you. They fall in love with your mind, and you can't know somebody's mind after one day. You just can't. So if you really want them to love you as deeply as they can, it's gotta be this prolonged thing of unfolding who you really are. And I think that's great though. They want to know who you truly are. They want to know all the little facets of you, kind of like a Venus in Scorpio, sort of. A Venus in Aquarius knows that other people are just as complex as they are. Other people's minds are just as interesting. And I think that's really nice to have a romantic partner or a friend or anyone who not only recognizes that in you, but wants to know that part of you. I think that's big, especially nowadays. They are very, very independent people. So they're gonna be turned off by anybody clingy. I always think of like going on a trip with a friend or with a loved one. After a couple days, you get a little touchy. Not everybody gets that way, but Aquarius placement people, we do. It's like, you need to give me my space. I can't do every freaking activity with you. I need my space. I need to be in my home alone for a second, or I need to be in my hotel room just chilling out. Like, let's do some independent stuff. Because then when you're social, you can be fun and you can be happy. But if you're an Aquarius placement person, people are clingy or whatever, you're like, some of that cold part of your personality is gonna come out. Your capability to be shut off and like, stop, leave me alone, or like just staring when they start talking about their emotions. It's like your social battery. You gotta pay attention to your social battery. So in relationships, in friendships, a Venus and Aquarius person needs their space. That means their physical space for sure. They really should be, I feel like, the ones kind of calling the shots about how much they want to see you in the beginning, or else you might spook them. It's kind of like, slow down. Obviously, you don't want to give them all that power the whole time and just not be able to see them when you want to be able to see them. But in the beginning, take their pace, because if you start pushing them, they're like, you're either going to be immediately in the friend zone forever, or it's just going to be, they're going to be irritated with you and not want to see you at all. So give them their space, their physical space. Don't be texting them and doing stuff like that all the time in the beginning when you're trying to seduce them. Don't do that. Allow them to get a little curious about what you're up to. Get a little curious about like how you spend your free time or who else you might be talking to. Like, allow that. They don't need you down their throat all the time. It is not going to work the way you want it to work. They are also not going to be, one big thing for friendships that's going to irritate them is when they're friends or when people copy them. Like if they say a joke and you say the joke louder, or you start copying their style or copying their jokes or the way that they talk, they're not gonna like that. They want people that have their own unique way about them, their own trademark. They also want partners that have a life of their own, a rich life outside of the relationship. You cannot go into a relationship, any relationship, you shouldn't, looking to find that missing piece of you and to give you purpose. But especially with a Venus and Aquarius, if they sense that in you, no, I am not your purpose. You need to have other passions. They won't even find you attractive if you come on to them like that. You can't be possessive with them. They're not gonna get along well with signs like, I would think, Venus and Scorpio, Venus and Taurus, that might be like, you're mine. Not to say that those signs are toxic in any way, but they just don't, if you start cutting them off from their friends or their alone time, they're gonna be miserable, and they will not be able to connect with you on an emotional level at all. They will shut down. A Venus and Aquarius is going to like artist types, people who are different, who are on the fringe, or who are a little strange, a little different. And then I tried to think of a movie or TV show character, and I kept thinking, I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. I wanted more than I can tell. Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Even though like people are like, Aquarians are wacky and weird. No, she's just cerebral. She's a reader. She loves to read. She has this relationship, this friendship with Beast. She understands him before she gets romantically attracted to him. We can talk about how weird that is that he literally kidnapped. Like, we'll cover that at another time. But in general, they had a friendship first. She longs for adventure and someone exciting. She got someone quite different. She got a big fuzzy dude. So she has an interesting type. Gaston is big and strong, and she was like, I don't want any of that. You're cute, you're good looking and strong, but like, not me. And all the other girls are fawning over him. No. They've got great taste. Well, some might say, no, that I don't like their taste. It's very different. It's artistic and wacky and, you know, offbeat. I'm sorry, my camera battery died and I'm 2 seconds away from finishing this video. Yeah, they've got a great standout type of style. The way that they like to express themselves they're not always freaky in the way that they express themselves, but it is uniquely them. They know what they like, they stick to it. They are confident about it, hopefully, if they have good self-esteem. And as far as money goes, they will spend on what moves them. Books, they might buy a lot of books. Aquarians also have a passion for causes. They're someone who, if you ask what they stand for, they know what they stand for. So Aquarians, I found, are people who, if they have a cause for, if they are really into sustainability or ethical business practices, they'll spend more on clothes that have been made ethically or sustainably. They will spend on one-of-a-kind things because they like unique things that nobody else can have. So it's sort of like collector vibes, but they will dish out money on things that are a little different. My brother's an Aquarius, and he has a set of, I think, chairs, leather chairs that are made, they mean something to him. I think he has a seat from Dodger Stadium. Everything in his house kind of means something to him, or he has certain pieces that do. And he has a set of leather chairs that were made in his birth year. So it's kind of cool. Like, a lot of different things around his house tell a story and all about things that mean something to him or are part of his identity. Also, Venus and Aquarius might be attracted to androgynous people. That's another way that someone could be a little different, is that, you know, they're not always going to be into the model types, the conventionally attractive, whatever is conventionally attractive at this time. They might be into androgynous types, people who are a little gender fluid. They might be queer and experimenting with dating people who identify differently than they do. A way to really connect with a Venus and Aquarius is to take them to a concert. It's just something I thought, because you don't need to be touching all up on them. You're not gonna be like grabbing them. You're gonna be experiencing this artistic wave of, like, you know how just concerts can move you, and to have that emotional experience with someone without having to have like a sappy conversation and you're crying and all of that, because Aquarians might be like, okay, that's a little much. A concert is a perfect way to do that, because you're connecting with them emotionally, but you're both having separate emotional experiences, and then you can talk about it later. But like, they're having their thing, they're being moved however they are by the show, and you're being moved, but you're doing it together. Just saying, like, I thought of that and I was like, wait, that's actually amazing. But basically, Venus and Aquarius doesn't need anyone to complete them. They are not looking for the missing puzzle piece to make them an interesting and whole person. They know that they are interesting and whole, and they're like, what can you bring to my life? What excitement? How can we connect on the same level and just be two little creatures moving through this life together? It doesn't need to be like, you know, I was looking for you and I was nobody before I met you. You don't need to fit in their life. They have no cookie cutter image of, you know, the perfect partner visually or anything. They are just looking for somebody different. They're looking for somebody to shake up their life. They are looking for that spice that is like, ooh, I thought the dish was complete, but this spice really adds something. This really adds and even makes my dish more bold and more flavorful. Get what I'm saying? So anyway, Venus and Aquarius, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Mwah! Bye, guys.